Hi, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed this morning's session as much as I did. Excuse me. Such an inspiring conversation between David, Melba, and Alan, and I can't thank them enough for being here. And now I'm super thrilled to be talking today with Simone Vingerhotz-Ziesman, who is the Managing Director of Americas at Roset, USA. Thanks, Simone, for being here. From banking to furniture, Simone's background makes her uniquely suited to leading change and identifying new opportunities at Roset. So, again, so excited to have you here. Can you give a little bit of history about yourself and what brought you to Ligne Roset?
Sure. So thank you, Stacy. I'm excited to be here.
And we're sitting in your chairs, so which even makes us just more cozy, which I love.
It hugs you a little bit.
Yes.
So, and it's nice to be in person, so that's a treat, so to speak, in these times. So I started my career in finance and then decided that I wanted to really combine my personal passion with the job. And I was really fortunate to start with Alessi. Had to take a step back in my career at that time, but loved the brand. It was a family business, and it was just a wonderful time in my life. And then Alessi actually brought me to London. So born and raised in Europe, I went to London, spent some time in London, started opening the first stores and Selfridges for Alessi at that time. And then the opportunity came up to move to New York. And I thought, well, it's going to be something for a couple of years. It's great for us. It's an opportunity. And moved, and then it became home. It has been 15 years now. So when I came to the US, Alessi asked me to stay, but I really wanted to get to know the American and the American culture and the consumer behavior, since it's so different from the Europeans. So I met Sandy Chilowich, and then we connected immediately, and she said, I'm building the hospitality business. So she trusted me and gave me this opportunity to build the hospitality business for Chilowich. And then another opportunity came up, Kastal. They were looking, Swedish rug manufacturer, hand tufted and woven rugs. And they were looking to set up their business in the US. So I took on that project, and then Artec came. So Artec, the same, wanted to set up business in the US. And I literally had my phone, I didn't have a computer. I sat at Starbucks, I purchased the laptop, and then I set up the office, found the people, and everything that is part of a business.
Right.
And was involved, in contact with the Alvar Aalto Foundation. So it was a really deep dive into design, and was, at that time, got the opportunity to visit Marfa and learn about mid-century design in the US and really connected. And then Artec was later purchased through Vitra, and then I eventually ended up at Ligne Roset 3 years ago now. So I guess I became I feel like a cultural bridge between Europe and the US, because I was born and raised in Europe and then moved over. So I feel I can read both sides, I can connect both sides, and be that bridge. And obviously now, being with Ligne Roset, it's a family business, which has always been very different for me, because working for a family business and a manufacturer, I feel it gives the product this soul that I found at Alessi and found again at Ligne Roset. So it's almost as if it comes full circle now. And it's just different. You build relationships with the products, because they're made in the home market, they have a name, and they become very personal. And so that's where I am today.
Well, it sounds amazing. And today we're going to share some brief videos, and you're going to talk through a bit about the history, past and present, of Ligne Roset, and about your storytelling approach, which I really love about it. I feel like every piece of Ligne Roset has a story behind it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the company was founded in 1860, so with 160 years of history, and now being in the 5th generation, there are a lot of stories to tell about manufacturing, about the designers, and how the company started. making umbrella handles, and then went into high-end designer furniture. And of course, we have so many different designers. We have a real diversity of designers on board, so there are multiple stories. And then we have the different businesses, really, that we have. We have the residential side that we're strongly known for, with 700 stores worldwide. And then we have the customization, the contract business.
Right. It's amazing. Okay, so we're going to show 4 videos. So let's start with the first one, because it celebrates, doing the math, 160 years in business, which is amazing for any company. So let's roll the first video and get a brief history.
Tout commence par elle, attachée à sa terre, entre la montagne et le fleuve. Une ligne qui suit les sommets des contreforts du Jura et les courbes du Rhône. Elle, qui dirige le regard vers ce que la nature offre de plus universel. Tout continue avec elle, qui guide l'inspiration du designer, qui épouse l'idée pour se prolonger dans le geste de l'artisan. Elle serpente le long de la matière, définit la forme, révèle les courbes. Elle trace le beau avec harmonie et s'efface pour épouser les formes des corps. Elle se dessine sous des mains attentives. Se déroule à l'impulsion du geste. Elle s'allonge à travers le temps, réécrit l'espace et dessine la fresque de son histoire. Elle, c'est une ligne qui soutient depuis 160 ans l'aventure de ceux qui osent, de ceux qui la tracent et de ceux qui la suivent. Ligne Roset, depuis 160 ans.
It's so great to see that depth of history and your incredible heritage, and just you can see it come through in that video. Can you tell us about a few of the iconic products that have carved a niche for the company?
So the most iconic is the Togo, really, designed in 1973 by Michel Ducarrois. And at that time, it was, coming back to one of our stories, the market was really velvet furniture, very formal, high-seated. And then the company launched an absolute low-seater where you would lounge and it hugs you, you feel comfortable in it. And the competition said, well, this is it, you know, you're going to break the company. And actually the opposite happened. So it became the iconic cult product that is the timeless design. Still today, it's 47 years old, it's still our best-selling product, and it can live in any like contemporary environment as well as a very classic home. So it's really versatile, I have to say. And then another product is obviously the pumpkin that we are sitting in, perfect for the Halloween season. So, designed by the late Pierre Paulin.
Okay.
Originally, actually, for the French President Georges Pompidou for the Élysée Palace.
Okay.
And still today, a very iconic piece that we have in the collection. So there's a lot. We have the upholstery, but we also have wonderful cabinetry products designed by Christian Werner or Mauro Liparini. I could talk about products for a long time, obviously.
And after 160 years, I mean, the company has been through a lot of ups and downs. But from the business side, you know, what do you have your eye on for the market? What are you paying attention to in terms of helping to get through the last crazy 7-8 months and moving forward into 2021?
Yeah. So my focus is obviously very North and South American centric, since I'm responsible for that part of the business. And we all had tough months going into this. I mean, for us, I have to say it's almost a blessing that people are at home, because we can shine and it becomes a mission. And what we want to do is provide that comfort, provide this feeling at home and a place to go to where you like to be. So for us, there has been actually a pretty positive development in this, because we get the opportunity to exactly offer this to the customers.
Right.
We are invited to their home. We can make it more of a home. We can make it more important for them, for the family. So that's obviously, that's my focus at the moment. How can we be more of an aid, not just from the commercial point of view with the furniture, but from a human point of view?
Right. Well, and I think that will shine through too in the commercial properties, in hospitality, for instance, or workplace, like having something that is more comfortable and almost like safe, right? You know, like that makes people want to go. All right, so in our next video, we're gonna cue that one up. Antoine Roset, Marketing Director at Roset Group, leads us both through design and process at your factory, showing us how the collections are made. Again, the main reason behind CLOSEUP. So let's take a closer look.
It's my pleasure to have you today during this tour. So we'll try to make it as nice and as good as possible. So I used to work a little bit in the US, so I hope you will still understand my French English. We start this tour today here at the foam stock area. This is where all begins. You can see behind me or in front of me, I'm gonna switch my camera. You can see the factory. Blocks of foam. So we have different colors that represent different densities, and this is where it starts. So we are known as the first all foam manufacturer of upholstery in the world, and that's I will give you a little tour of our facility. So due to the COVID-19, you will see people with masks or less people, because there is only 80% of our workforce that is back on track. Here you can see different shapes and colors. So here it's a molded part for a pumpkin from Pierre Paulin. So we have different machines. I will try to show you. Bonjour. I will try to show you different machines. So this one is the biggest one. It's a 3D cutting machines. It has a particularity to be able to cut different pieces of different products in a same block of one density, which allow us, if you want, to avoid to have too much waste and gain of productivity and cut shapes that we were not able 10 years ago to realize. We bought this machine about 8 years ago. So since now 2008, we have a lean management, and we created ilots on which each ilot receive all the different parts to produce each item. So they receive either the structure, so it could be wood structure or metal structure. Here you have a nice example, if you want, of the plume from the Bourrelec brazier. So this is the metal structure that is underneath the foam that we will put on it for the plume. I'm gonna show you how it's done live. So here we go. Voilà. Bonjour. I go inside. You can see. So everything here. After the structure is ready, it goes to the upholstered part. So this, bonne journée. So I will continue my tour. I show you here quite interesting machine. This is a digital stitching machine used to do some knitting like this one. So we do some pattern motif. We create everything from scratch. We put the fabric flat on it, and then it goes to the machine. The machine will start stitching, cutting the thread, doing some knots with the thread and all of this. So you can see the pattern already existing on it, like a start. And at the end, it looks like this one here. And this is for one of our famous products designed by Inga Sampé. So I know that your time is very precious. So I don't want to take you too long during this tour, hoping that we will be able to create another one.
Wow, impressive. I love seeing the factory firsthand. So I'm super excited that we are being joined by Antoine Roset from his home in Lyon. Hi, Antoine.
Hello.
Welcome to Up Close and CLOSEUP.
Hello.
Sorry,
How are you?
switching up the name. I do want to say we're thinking of all of you in France. We heard of the attack in Nice, and I'm glad you're safe and sound at home. And we're thinking of the country right now.
Thank you.
But let's talk about the factory and your 160th anniversary. Congratulations, by the way. That's a momentous occasion. So I'm just blown away by the handiwork, and I understand the training is kind of rigorous and apprentice-style approach. Can you speak to the culture and how you create such amazing craftsmanship?
First of all, this is just a small tour of our factory. Normally, it's a better experience than that. We do live tour all year long when the time allow us to do it. With the COVID-19, obviously, it's much more difficult, and we are very happy to give you a small virtual tour today. After that, I think it's very interesting to see how the people work there and the creativity and craftsmanship we put in every single pieces we have. Just by doing a tour like the one today shows you how much our industry is still artisanal and not just a big machine doing gluing pieces and putting pieces together. When there is a lot of know-how and skill and a lot of product made by hand.
Right. And so given how you blend creativity, technical specifications, craft, quality, innovation, sustainable practices, talk about how do you describe that synergy? How do you describe bringing that all together to create these amazing products?
It's quite organic as a process. First of all, it has been 160 years that we are under this process.
Right.
So obviously, this process has been improved many times. I think the last time we've done the biggest improvement was in 2009, just during the financial crisis, where we switched our production to 5S. Simon will tell you more after, certainly. But it's a very organic way to do it, and it's a lot of shared trust with our employees and time spent together. Our headquarters is here also in Briord, where the factory is and it's easy for us every day to go down and discuss with our employee and to see what's going on, why things are wrong or right, and this discussion brings to the quality of things we do.
Right. And I understand we couldn't see the whole factory tour, so we will have to come back again when we can.
With pleasure.
Yes, sign me up. But what's the most interesting part of the factory or the process for you?
Oh, there are so many parts, and all of those parts are so important in a process. Definitely, I think the most important part is really like the human part, and the fact that we are a team. Simon said that we have 700 points of sales, but we have also 700 employees. 500 of them, or a bit more than that, are working here at the factory. And it's really like the interaction between all these people, and how from a piece of, I would say, leather or fabric, or just a piece of paper, we create a full product, and how things are coming along together. This is really astonishing and very fascinating to see how these people are skilled. So that's for me probably one of the most interesting part, if we don't go into details.
Love it. And I mean, this is a family business, right? And how do you maintain the legacy, yet keep the company moving forward as a modern enterprise and evolving?
Of course, we tried not to think about it. I think that's the key. If you think too much about it, you put too much pressure on your shoulder. No, I think the job has been done by my family for 4 generations already. My grandfather, Jean, has really opened the business to what it is today. My father and my uncle has developed the international business. Now it's our turn with Olivier to really maintain this level and be creative on other parts. Each generation brings something new. Each generation is connected to its own time, and that's I think the beauty of a family business. It's not a competition of who's gonna do better than everyone. The idea here is really to share our knowledge and make sure that the next generation will be able to bring another stone to this. If I may say, a cathedral of design.
Love it. And did you always know you wanted to go into the family business?
Not really, no, because it will be really horrible for a kid to say, oh no, you're gonna work here. But yes, I've done study. My business school were dragging me to this position slowly but surely. But I started in other businesses like watch industry, where there is also a lot of craftsmanship. So that was a kind of the same spirit in a way.
Love it. Okay. And I know you have a heavy hand in the design, and your new collection is called Asmara. Can you tell us a little bit about it before we see the video? Sure.
Asmara is a re-edition of a product designed in 1968 by Bernard Gauvin. It's a 67 actually. This is very important because it was ahead of time of its time already. In 68, all what happened in 68. I mean, it was really like the change of meaning, the spirit. Everyone changed. For that was really the new years of thinking. And Asmara in 67 or 68, no, sorry, 69, right? 68 came this Asmara where we bring a brand new way to see it. It was a first all foam product ever. And instead of sitting, we were launching a product where you just not really sit, actually you lay on the product and you use the product as you like. And that's true that when you look at it with the time, you think about it and you say, wow, we were well in advance. And to celebrate the 160 years anniversary of the brand, we thought that non-product except Asmara was better product to really show who we were, who we are, and who we're gonna be in the future. I love that. It's almost going back to your roots to move forward. So, Antoine, thank you so much for being here with us today, and we wish you, thank you very much, a wonderful anniversary. Now thanks. Let's explore the collection through this short video. That's incredible. So beautiful. The manufacturing skill shows off the line of the entire collection so beautifully. It's modular and modern, yet fits to human contours. How do you guys make that look so easy through the product?
So actually, in this case with the Asmara, Bernard Gauvin did actually the job already in the 60s. True. So what we did when we decided to relaunch, and this is actually our 160th anniversary product, it's also tagged with the 160th anniversary, we basically made sure we preserve the original design of the product and don't change it, but we benefited from new technology. So we, for example, have a stretch velvet that we introduced this year, and the product is upholstered in the stretch velvet. So you can add the comfort level of the new technology into an existing product. Awesome. I mean, you're just improving what was already a great product. Yeah, correct. And I know there's a huge emphasis on skill and sequence. Can you talk or elaborate a little bit on that? On skill and sequence, yeah. Antoine mentioned this briefly in the conversation. So we basically optimize the factory in terms of processes, cleanliness, the skill sets. So we follow the Kaizen philosophy. Okay. So where basically top to bottom, the entire organization is reviewed and each individual process is optimized. And that's a continuous process, whether that's on a management level, or that is a simple operational task, or it might be moving an entire production pot to a different location because you benefit from shorter ways this way. So it's optimization throughout.
Very cool. Very smart. And you and Antoine have mentioned various partners. How do you select who you work with, both outside partners, and then what's the process in-house as well?
So the process of finding a new designer, there are different approaches. This is really Michel Roset's, Antoine's uncle's task, who is still very heavily involved in the design process. And one of the ways we find new designers is an award that we've been giving for 13 to 14 years. It's called the Concours Sina. And we foster new designers and look at the new designers' work, and then 3 of those designers make it into the Concours Sina, and we produce those products and bring them into the collection. So Michel is always looking for new and upcoming talent, a wide variety, obviously, of different cultures. And what happens with the collection is usually that a designer starts with a smaller item, a light, an accessory, and then really grows. So the big debut is always a large upholstery or a large cabinetry piece. And in a way, most of them grow with the company. They grow up with Ligne Roset.
That's amazing. And just giving opportunity to emerging designers and giving them a platform that they wouldn't have otherwise. That's awesome. Yeah. Another thing that I'm super amazed by what you're doing at Ligne Roset is that what you mentioned, your sustainability efforts, everything from eco-design to recycling. Can you talk about your 4 pillars, which I'm going to read, which are clean environments, air protection, supply chain providers, and welfare and well-being of employees?
So very important for us is, if we work on a design project and sort of bring a new product into this world, we want to make sure we do not bring something into the world that harms it in any way, so that there is a way of recycling it. And we very carefully look at the entire manufacturing process, the materials that we use. We make sure that the chemicals that are used in the factory, they don't cause cancer, they don't have any negative influence on reproductive systems of the workforce. If you visit the factory, you will also find that people don't wear face masks. I mean, at the moment they do because of COVID, but in general they do not, because the chemicals don't require it.
That's amazing.
That we use. And so we have, for example, at our cabinetry factory, we have a recycling system where we basically use the wood scrap to reheat the factory, so which produces a 0 carbon footprint for the company. Or the wood scrap, the fabric scraps or the leather scraps that we produce, we sell them to another company, and they produce little keychains and purses out of it. And obviously, coming to materials, we certainly use FSC certified woods. We make sure the foam has a 0 VO2 content, and so do the lacquers. So it's a 360-degree effort, and it is in our DNA. We actually started with this already in the 70s. And it's so nice that you mentioned that, because I have to say, when I talk about the brand, it's so embedded into our culture that I just simply forget.
Right.
Because it's a daily habit. That's who we are.
But you should scream that, because I mean, it's really important, especially I think, with everything that we're going through now, even more the sustainable story. And not that it's just a story or a marketing thing, but it's really part of who you are.
Yeah.
I applaud you all for that. So what else is new that you could talk about? Anything for 2021 that you're working on that you want to mention?
So we have focused on outdoors, which in a way, somehow just hearing from Melba and David about the outdoor scenery of the restaurants in New York City, we have focused on it because we feel that a product that gives you comfort in the home, why not have something similar that also gives you the same comfort outside? So one of the typical examples here is the ottoman designed by Noël Duchafour-Laurence, where he designed the product. It's another interesting story. He actually originally designed the product for a hotel in Casablanca.
Okay.
And this project didn't come through, and Michel Roset liked the product so much that he decided to bring it into the collection. And then Noël sat in his apartment with large glass doors and thought, well, this needs to be outdoors. Why do I only have the comfort inside and I don't have it outside? So this is how this product moved to the outside. We also have a wonderful partnership that we started with Jabu Puschelberg called the Puka collection. Very exciting, especially for us here in the North American market, to have a North American designer again. We partnered with Sebastian Höckner, who designed the Taru collection, which is inspired by elephants. And if you see the products, you see the little chunky legs that remind you of elephants. We partnered with a young designer, Keiji Takeuchi, Japanese, living in Milan, and he designed a wonderful armchair for us that is now part of the collection. So it's ongoing. I mean, there are years where we launch about almost 100 products every year. So it is a large collection, since we feature all sort of parts of life and the home.
Right, that's amazing. I'm impressed that you keep it all straight. So now to bring it all into focus, we are going to catch up with a New York showroom manager, Kevin Gill, who's going to walk us through their beautiful showroom on Park Avenue, right?
Yeah, it's 250 Park Avenue South.
250 Park Avenue South, and give us a quick glimpse of some of the collections there.
Bonjour, and welcome to Ligne Roset at 250 Park Avenue South. My name is Kevin. I'm the showroom manager, and it's a pleasure to give you a tour today. We are a full-service showroom providing all things necessary for your design needs. We have 2 floors dedicated to showcasing our collection in the current fabrics, colors, and finishes. We have a wide variety of cash and carry items for that last-minute gift idea, or perhaps you stop by the farmer's market to get some fresh cut flowers. Stop in and get a vase for them. We have an extremely dedicated and talented design team that can help you through the entire process, from selection to installation. Not only do they offer their expertise in choosing fabrics, colors, and finishes, they're able to offer you renderings so you're able to see the final project in your space. Thank you for stopping by Ligne Roset. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Such a treat. You get to see the New York showroom, you get to see the factory in France. We're sitting on your chairs. It's just, I love seeing everything that is Ligne Roset. And speaking of that, I mean, you do collections for almost everything, right? You know, the furniture to, you know, now outdoor to just everything that you need to fill a space. What is the through line that connects the company and connects the products?
Mm-hmm. Well, so first the through line is life. You know, that connects really all of them. But for the company, it is the 5 core values that we have. So the first one is creativity. So we produce an innovative product that is different. The second one is livability. We want to make sure that the product is comfortable. People love sitting in their sofa. We don't want them to have back pain or something. We really want them to feel at home and comfortable. The next one is non-conformism. So we design products that are very innovative and that are different. So we like to provoke and almost rebel a little bit and don't do the expected, do the unexpected. Very important is high end. The quality of the product is very important. We want to make sure that it's a product, again, coming back to sustainability, that lasts for a long time and it stays with you throughout the different stages of your life. And the next most important one is loyalty. And this brings us back to the human-centric part, which is also the connection to the customer. So we feel a loyalty to the customer, and the customer feels a loyalty to us. So that's a very strong connection that happens there for the brand.
Right. And speaking along that same line, the customer, how do you hope customers view Ligne Roset, both on the trade and on the residential side? How do you want them to see the company?
So we really want to make them happy. Yeah. We want to innovate them. We want to, if they visit the store, be inspired of what they see, even if it's just browsing through a catalog or actually physically experiencing the product. We like to provide solutions. We like to obviously also seduce the customer with the furniture. Specifically on the contract side, we provide the solution for a particular design need or a design idea. So where that there is a problem that appears, and because we have this knowledge from the manufacturing side, from the factory, and we have the engineers on the team, they can actually easily come up with a solution, and then we produce it for this project. So the two sides, the retail environment and the contract environment, are slightly different in that respect.
Love it. Mm-hmm. And I know you focus on, U.S. and North America, and where can people find Ligne Roset in North America and South America? And are you guys growing more beautiful showrooms, or how can people find you?
Yeah, so we have very dedicated showrooms, and we have, as you saw, the New York City showroom, which is very exciting because we opened the showroom as a corporate store in January this year, so this is new to us. The store offers you a wonderful outdoor area, the entire collection of the brand. It has a small contract section, and the team offers really all the design services that you need for your project or for your home. They are also always there for you to let you know where the closest store is, where we are represented with almost 40 stores in North and South America. So there is one store close by you, wherever you live, really.
It's amazing. And I know this hasn't been an easy 8 or 9 months. What have you learned, or what has been your biggest takeaway through all of this? In business acumen, in leadership, in, whatever lesson you have taken away. Mm-hmm. What has been the greatest thing that you've learned through all this?
Well, we definitely, in a way, became closer, I feel, as a team. We learned a lot about each other also on a personal level, because we would have Zoom happy hours, we would have Ligne Roset trivia games, and like the easy social gatherings, they happened virtually, but because they were in people's home, it gave you that idea, we're actually there together. And I feel it molded the team together. And for me, communication is one of the most important parts at the moment. Yeah. And really, the Zooms, the video is important as long as we can't be physically together all the time. So to stay together as a team, because we are strong as a team and we can achieve so much more together as a team. So that's from the business side. In terms of the developments of the company, obviously, we do see a large, sort of, I don't want to call it trend, because it's not really the kind of design that we embrace, but We see people needing home offices. So
Yep.
the question is definitely, how can we help people to create their little cocoon that shields them off from the family? Because we know it becomes a school, it becomes a home, it becomes a gym. Everything is tied together in our home. So we want to provide those solutions. We want to be helpful and continue that mission that
Right.
we've always had.
Well, and it seems like you have that culture of innovation, right? That
Yes.
has been bred through the 160 plus years, so you
Yeah.
can just feed off of and foster that.
Yeah, so I mean, we see design not as a trend or statistics where we review the statistics like, okay, we're going to need a new bed, we need a new chair. We see design as the unexpected.
Right.
And we want to create something that is human-centric, that wasn't there before or has to be changed in a way that it appeals more to the human being, but surprise people, It's like when Steve Jobs designed the iPhone, he didn't want to design the iPhone. He wanted to surprise people.
Yeah.
And that's the same way we understand design. It's a mission.
That's amazing. I love that. I think we have a couple minutes. I wanted to turn it over to Megan Dwyer, who's our Associate Content Director for ICFF, and she has maybe a few questions from the audience.
Yeah. You mentioned the products installed for the Pompidou. Any other installations that you are especially proud of?
We have actually just completed an installation on Tuesday this
Oh, yeah, you were
week
just saying
with
that.
the Brooklyn-based artist Liz Collins. It's called Dynamic Expansion, and it's a partnership between Ligne, Roset, Pollack, and Sombrella, where Liz designed the fabrics for Sombrellas. For Pollack, Sombrella manufactured it, and she chose certain products, in this case the Prado, designed by Christian Werner, to upholster it in her fabrics. And this is on view at the Park Avenue store at the moment. And it's a very interesting approach because I feel bringing an outsider in, it creates a certain dynamic that
Right.
as a brand, you have a certain sort of DNA that you follow, and to have somebody else come in, there's something that spikes and makes it more interesting.
Right,
So that was
tension.
a great project that
Yeah.
we've just completed.
How was it working on a collaboration remotely that you then had to install physically? And how has that been throughout the last 8 months or so?
Yeah. So the project was originally planned for NYC by Design in May, like many other projects
Very
were.
sad.
So we've rushed into that, and we made everything on time. The fabrics were woven, and then the pandemic happened. And so we went on pause, and I thought, well, life continues.
Yeah.
So I got in contact with Liz, and I said, I want to do this in October. We can still, I feel, bring the message across.
Right.
And so we spoke and found different ways, and then installed it, and I hope we were able to transmit the whole dynamic of the exhibition throughout the Zoom presentation that we did on Tuesday. But in a way, it wasn't much different,
Yeah.
because we have, the video content and component. We can see each other.
Right.
It's different if you have to feel fabrics and materials.
Right.
That makes it challenging. But, we have the masks, so there's still a way around it. But very important was for me to really take this step and, bring the new normality in.
Right. And how long will it be on display for those in New York that might want to?
So it will be on display throughout the month of November.
Okay, great. Megan, do we have any other good questions from the audience?
Yes. Someone said, I'm blown away by the handiwork, and I understand that the training is a rigorous apprentice-style program. Can you speak to that?
Oh, I think they're going off of what I asked Antoine about the training to get to the handiwork and how you bring people into
Yeah.
the company, to expand on that a little bit.
So Ligne Roset is actually an interesting combination between the latest technology. We work with 5-axle CNC machines, and we still do our own veneers, our own laminates at the factory, and the craftsmanship that goes into it. And the craftsmanship, I mean, a machine you can buy, the craftsmanship is the rare part. So what we do is we have different apprenticeship programs where we educate the people. And especially on the upholstery side, the seamstresses, those are incredibly skilled people, and that acquire that skill set really over years, almost decades.
Right.
And they are not easy to find. So we have to have the apprenticeship program to teach them that skill.
Yeah. How many people are in the factory? I mean, just to give us a sense, I don't know if that's...
So we have 5 different factories. We have 1.5 million square foot manufacturing facilities, and about 500 people work there. So it's from the upholstery to the woodworking to the cabinetry. It goes across the board, and almost 3 factories are just seamstresses that sew the covers, because our covers are made like a jacket, you know, so you can reupholster your piece of furniture, and that's how we dress the piece.
That's amazing, and helps with wear and tear, especially for people like me with children.
That's true. Yeah.
It keeps them durable too. Mm-hmm. And looking ahead to, you know, and about the legacy and keeping that, and as, you know, the company continues to grow, you know, from a business point of view, what is your vision for the future, or the vision of the company for the future, and how are you continuing to evolve and, you know, bring this handiwork and craftsmanship to the industry?
So the company existed for 160 years, so I feel the family is doing something right to be in this business, and I trust they will continue that direction and continue the innovation that goes into the product. And we obviously, on the commercial side, we benefit from that, you know, wide, luxurious collection of products that enables us really to create the entire home, whether it's a rug, whether it's a light, whether it's a candlestick holder or the big sectional. We have it all in the collection, and that's what we will continue. But we, as I said before, we are exploring different avenues with definitely strengthening the outdoors, and then we will see what the next innovation is.
Can't wait to see.
Next year.
And you worked, I mean, you named all the amazing companies that you worked for before Ligne Roset. Just what is your thought on the industry and what we need to do, or how it will come out in the, you know, get out of the pandemic and continue to push forward, because we are resilient. And, you know, I think these 2 days is all about showing the resiliency and, you know, the amazing innovation that's happening in design right now.
Yeah, so for the organization, I actually tied the whole pandemic into 3 different chapters.
Oh.
So the first one was the response phase. We learned about it, we had to act. The second one was the recovery phase, once the stores reopened and business started to resume. And I have actually, through the response and the recovery phase, I decided not to furlough the team. I decided to basically go at it with full steam and optimism, where the team continued to reach out to customers. And even if it's just saying, hey, are you healthy? How are you doing?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Right.
Which has actually, the genuine part of it has brought business in. And it was coming from the heart. It was just human.
Right.
It brought business in, it saved the jobs of the team. I've learned it saved the jobs of almost an entire warehouse in New Jersey. So we obviously have that chain reaction. So then we went into the recovery phase, where business was coming back, and now we are in the resilience phase. So now we have to very carefully look at what is the future. Can this happen again? And how do we prepare for it? And for me, foot traffic in a store going down, I've never been worried about it, because I always said, well, if you don't come to me, I just come to you.
Right.
You know, I'm happy to go, and that's what the team did. And first, everybody was a little hesitant, said, yeah, but it's COVID. Do people want to see me?
Right.
And people are happy, because it's a controlled environment. And they're happy. It's one person, they can control them, they can Lysol them if they want to. So they bring them in, and, you know, obviously we can be so much more helpful being in the home, because we understand the lifestyle of the person.
Right.
So this is what we are doing now. And of course, there's a lot of FaceTime consultations and Zooms, and So it's a mix, out of them. But it doesn't mean that business ends. And obviously, a blessing for the home furnishings industry is that people are tied to their home.
Yep.
Because everybody has changed something, whether it's just fresh paint or it's the entire new sectional or the entire new bedroom. And what I've noticed is that at the beginning, people would buy individual pieces to have a quick solution. But now they know, okay, we're going to establish a new normal. So they are changing entire rooms, entire homes.
Yep.
And so that's obviously is a good opportunity for us to help.
Yeah, I love it. But I love how you're bringing it back to the human approach and what this is all about, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I love it. All right. Well, we are unfortunately out of time. Thank you so much, Simone. It's just been such a pleasure to learn more about the company and see it live in France with Antoine. So you can see more at ligne-roset.com and on Instagram at ligne-roset. Let's take a brief intermission for 10 minutes. I'm going to turn and talk this way. And then I'll see you back here at 11 Eastern for my talk with Laufin. And also until then, watch Nick Jones, who is the founder of Soho House. And his story is just incredible. And it's brought to you by Hospitality Design Magazine. See you at 11.